What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 4, where this is going to be the second game of the best of two between mYi and Albumsheet. Currently, the score sitting 1-0 in favor of mYi after a pretty brutal Legion Commander performance. She's going to be banned out this game, but we're going to be bringing you the action here on HeflaTV 2. I'm Mike Loris. I still have Coucher on the line. What do you think Albumsheet have to do different, man? Because they didn't really stand that much of a chance last game.
Well, if they're going for the same kind of heroes, then just itemize them so that they can actually fight as well. Because last time around, they had to forfeit so many towers without actually fighting, and they were not ready to take fights at all. Like Butterfly on the Shadow Fiend, Shadow Blade, when you need really a BKB. I didn't understand it at all. But picking up a Brewmaster, definitely the right way to go, I think. Just it's a hero that can dominate fights, at least early on, early to mid game even. So Albumsheet, maybe they are the ones now to just have the teamfight supremacy.
Yeah, I don't think they really had anything wrong with their draft. I think it was just execution and itemization, as you said, that really went wrong. But I mean, the draft shouldn't be a huge issue, as they clearly can draft a good lineup. I think the last one was fine. Brewmaster as an opening is as powerful as you could possibly get. They would like a support to partner up with this, but I don't really know if that's going to be the insta-pick. No, just going to get the Razor. And with Scarith Mage and the Legion taking rather early bans, that is going to let these two powerhouses get through. So Albumsheet, they have two extraordinarily powerful heroes with the Brew Razor, but mYi they also have two extremely powerful heroes, Centaur, Viper. All the heroes in the game right now are very tanky, could put out a serious amount of damage, and in general are hard to lock down.
Oh, they most certainly are, and to be honest, I think it's a little bit funny that mYi themselves banning out the Legion Commander. They really must have high respect for that hero. Of course, they went for a first pick, Legion themselves, I think it was.
Hmm.
Not too sure if Albumsheet would have gone for it, but mYi, they're just a little bit wary of that hero now. Banning out an Ogre as well, unfortunately. That hero is always fun to see. But both teams so far have extremely tanky cores, to be honest. Centaur, Viper. Viper, of course, most likely will build the mech. Razor might as well, although in the recent past, I've just seen it more and more often that mech is kind of an item that teams pass up on, at least when it's the Razor or Viper going for it, just because of the increased mana cost, probably. Going for an Aghanims or BKB straight off instead.
Yeah, I mean, either way should be pretty good for the Razor. It's at the bottom line, it's going to be just tankiness for him, so either way, it's going to be an option for them. And really, it's kind of an option for both sides, as Razor and Viper can go for the exact same item build, which is kind of weird. But they're pretty much, like, I just think of them as pretty much the exact same hero. Small differences here and there, but their role, their itemization is very similar. So everything that you said about Razor could be applied exactly to the Viper. And whoa, Tusk. mYi, I think, are kind of just disrespecting Albumsheet potentially. I mean, you don't really ban Tusk or pick him ever.
Is Tusk like especially good against certain lineups, certain heroes? Nothing really comes to mind, so I have no idea what that ban was about. Maybe it was exactly like I said, just kind of disrespecting. It's kind of like Team Malaysia, for example, banning out
Hmm.
like random heroes, Abaddon, Huskar, Pugna.
Cool.
But maybe there's something just deep underlined there. They're going for a Crystal Maiden at the moment. That hero, at least today when I started watching the Star Ladder, was there for quite a couple of games. Just jungle it up early with the Frostbite, then even go for a Hand of Midas. Even an Aghanim Scepter was picked up on one Crystal Maiden. So that hero definitely, I think, should see more play as it is anyway. I was kind of expecting when it's going to come back. But Crystal Maiden Treant, it's just going to be extremely passive laning for my insanity, I'm afraid.
Man, Dota's gonna be so weird when top tier support picks involve tanky, aggressive heroes like Ogre Magi and super fragile, soft intelligence heroes like Crystal Maiden in the same game. That's just crazy to me. But yeah, Crystal Maiden is going to be able to farm pretty passively. I'd like to see both Treant Protector and Crystal Maiden being played very aggressively because they can put out so much damage early on, but I don't know if they're going to get the chance just because Albumsheet with this Enchantress pickup is going to be pretty devastating. Like, this is pretty much early game on lockdown wherever the Enchantress goes. The only thing she has to worry about is the Crystal Maiden's Frostbite, which lasts like 10 years on Enchantress creeps, so you can't really get the micro that you would really want versus the Crystal Maiden sometimes. But even if mYi wanted to play this super passively or they wanted to go super aggressively, it will be more or less an even fight in the early mid game stage, and I expect both teams to pick up a hyper carry here. It just seems like that type of lineup.
It probably will as well. I do have to say that the last couple of enchantresses I've seen have been just extremely underwhelming. Not able to get enough early pressure on at all. The rotations just haven't worked out. Hopefully for Albumsheet, they have that one player who just knows how to go for the enchantress, when to find the openings, when to smoke up for the ganks. Last bans though, Bristleback from My Insanity, a Weaver ban out from Albumsheet, of course. Smart ban as well, because so far they would have only had the telekinesis. Yes, Rubik would have been able to steal Sukuichi, which is also nice, but having only one stun, and even that's not all that great to be honest, would have meant that Weaver has free roam, but My Insanity now? What's going to be their last pick here?
Well, even though they can't pick up a Weaver, they can still pick up slippery heroes, i.e. Ember Spirit, or a Morphling, heroes that really excel when the enemy team is Disable Light. And I mean, they don't even have any silences or anything. Like, they actually just have Telekinesis and the Brewmaster Rock in order to actually stun people. Maybe an Enchantress Creep if they're lucky. So, My Insanity, I think it should be someone who relies on mobility in order to get around. Maybe it's even going to be a Slark, but I mean, no matter what, the hero is going to get a lot of protection. That's pretty much a given, since they do have a Treant Protector on their team. So it could just be a Medusa, Spectre along those lines, but I think I like a Morphling here for My Insanity.
Warframe definitely would give them just that late game powerhouse, but Slark is going to be the pickup. I thought about Slark just because you're gonna have the living armor. It's going to be so hard to bring the Slark down, even if somebody or something is to lock him down. Then of course Crystal Maiden with the Arcane Aura, or whatever aura it's called. I don't even know to be honest, but we'll make it so the Slark really won't run into any mana issues, or at least he shouldn't. And Albumsheet, they went for a Darkseer. I just don't see a huge amount of synergy, to be honest, between their heroes and the Darkseer. I mean, yes, they can potentially just telekinesis somebody up, vacuum everybody down, and when telekinesis ends, the drop down, it stuns the others. Maybe Thunderclap as well, but is that just reason enough to go for a Darkseer?
I don't know. I think they're probably looking more towards the lanes as opposed to the hero synergy, because when you have an Enchantress, obviously you're going to be running her in the jungle. And then you would really like to be running aggressive tri-lane with the likes of Razor Rubik, but you can't because you already picked up an Enchantress. So you need a hero that is self-sufficient versus either the Slark, Crystal Maiden tree lane, or the Centaur lane. And in that regard, Darkseer kind of makes sense, but like if you just look at your lanes, then you're not really drafting to your fullest potential. I think there are heroes that could probably get favorable matchups there and still contribute a lot to the team, because I don't really see the synergy with Darkseer either within their own team. But if he does well in lane, then maybe you don't even need synergy. It's just another thing that you don't have to worry about.
Well, the lanes definitely, at least the Darkseer's lane should favor him, kind of. Even if he's up against a tri-lane, if that should be the case, at least his Ion Shell will make the just My Insanity's course farm that much harder for him to get. The Ion Shell is probably one of the more annoying things to deal with. It really gets you on tilt, to be honest, if you have to deal with that. But Slark, he has decent-ish enough base damage to kind of take care of it if need be. And I wouldn't mind Albumsheet going for an aggressive tri-lane, to be honest, with the Enchantress aggressively jungling as well. It can completely backfire, but that would mean that the Crystal Maiden just won't have free time to Frostbite up in the jungle, just get easy levels.
Well, maybe Crystal Maiden is going to be able to frostbite jungle creeps that the Enchantress delivers to her. Like, that's always a possibility. If you want to go in with a Centaur, your Enchantress, you're feeling good, and then suddenly frostbite, which lasts 10 seconds, it's terrible. So maybe that's not going to be the best course of action, but then again, that's not something that they can get around, so you might as well try to go for it, I suppose. But we'll see as they load out into their lanes. For My Insanity, we have Lizard currently heading up towards top as a Treant Protector. Boots first on him. He's going to be joined by the Centaur Warrunner being played by Zmai on the mid lane. It is going to be Milan on the Slark solo, it looks like, and then Hatawa's on the Crystal Maiden, joining Grazine on the Viper down bottom lane. Is it just going to be a dual lane top with two melee heroes? That's pretty crazy, and up against Razor, I don't know if it's going to work that well.
Treant might be just putting down the wards, but we shall see, as Inquisitor will be playing the Razor on the safe lane with Aloha Dance on the Rubik, leaving no fear on the Enchantress. They are currently guarding their own jungle just to make sure nothing's gonna get warded up. As Show Me on the Brewmaster, gonna go into the mid lane, and the last one will be Bignam on the Darkseer. But I really like that My Insanity went for that Viper on the safe lane just to make sure that the Ion Shell is not gonna be an issue at all. Of course, Treant, oh never mind, it's gonna come back down. And I have to say, man, honorable mentions to Hatawa. Just such a sacrificial support player. One clarity and one shared tango, that's all he has.
Well, you don't really need that much else to jungle as a Crystal Maiden. If you're going to be fighting, obviously you want your stat items because your base damage is terrible, 38. But against creeps, because Frostbite does last so long, you don't actually need anything aside from a little bit of mana regeneration to get you through until level 2, in which case you literally don't need anything. And if he gets this regen rune after killing a creep or something, then that could be huge, but I think Enchantress is going to take care of that. No Fear looks like he is going to be doing some aggressive jungling. Versus a Crystal Maiden, this could be very dangerous. I think these two heroes are going to mess with each other quite a bit. 1 armor on the CM versus 0 on the Enchantress. I think the Crystal Maiden loses this fight, although with Frostbite, No Fear is taking quite a bit of damage. And Crystal Maiden, she's not going to be able to chase the Enchantress down because she's slow as the Wolves of Ice Rack, but No Fear is now going to reconsider his idea of aggressively jungling, and Hatawa is going to get the regen rune as well, so nothing but wins for my Insanity from minute 0.
I would call it epic winning even, and not only that, Hatawa, he actually himself, with the running towards this side, he blocked the big camp from spawning early on. Otherwise, Enchantress would have just snagged the creep there, probably used it against Crystal Maiden. Even then, though, Treant Protector, if really necessary, could have skilled up the living armor. So Crystal Maiden gonna start the jungling, No Fear, set back a little bit, finds a troll, a pretty decent enough hero if you want to go for ganks. But for example, a gank into the mid lane from the enemy jungle, from the Radiant jungle, would have been that much scarier for my Insanity, but now probably No Fear gonna just focus on farming up for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, with the Enchantress, you could either go super aggressively with your double creeps and then try to get a kill. On the likes of Centaur, that will be very difficult, but possible, and they can decide to go down that route. Or you could just sit back and try to rush a bigger item, get your power treads, maybe get started on your mech. Either way, the Enchantress is going to be farming, or she should be farming a lot faster than the Crystal Maiden. Currently out of mana, is going to be hitting level 2 shortly, but so far no real impacts there. Big Num on the bottom lane has already used Surge, and he's slowed down to quite the crawl. Lizard with the boots is going to be beating on the Starkseer really hard, but 6 armor on the Starkseer, and he could turn around and fight if he really wants to. However, Viper is here, has 2 Nether Toxins, a lot of damage, but no poison attack, so no slow. Now Zmine, the top lane, is going to be in a lot of trouble. Centaur Hoof Stomp is most guaranteed going to land. Now the Centaur War Runner Hoof Stomp, he doesn't have enough mana for. He's going to go down as Ink Visitor draws first blood.
Such a good rotation from No Fear. 2 excellent creeps to have as well. Ensnare first to set it up, then the Centaur Hoof Stomp to follow, War Stomp rather. So excellently done. Big Num in some trouble, or is he gonna go for Lizard? The Iron Shell is just so strong. And Greasing, I don't really understand why he wouldn't pick up even a single point into poison attack. And Big Num, never mind, surged forward for a little while. But if he had the poison attack earlier on the attempt, might have been enough for the first blood, or at the very least, make Darkseer use way more of his consumables or be just that much lower on health, and he can't man mode all of a sudden. Mid lane, it's rather even so far at the very least. 11 and 2, or 12 and 2 now on Xiaomi compared to Milan's 10 and 2. I think Brewmaster usually should have a slight upper hand in this matchup anyway.
Yeah, and because of that, because of exactly what we just saw, he got chunked so hard. He's going to turn around with the living armor and try to go for Chomi, but that's not really going to do too much. And now here's the annoying thing. Enchantress Tornadoes going to be harassing Milan. I mean, life was already tough enough as Slark. You don't really need to deal with Tornadoes on top of that, so this lane is now going to be firmly won by the Brewmaster, just because Tornado is such a ridiculously broken skill. The Viper skill build, I could kind of understand where he's coming from, since he figures I might as well not try to go for poison attack, since the enemy is just going to surge away. I might as well get damage, and that's okay, but I mean, obviously getting poison attack and not having to use it is certainly going to be useful in those niche situations where it can result in a kill, and he kind of got a kill stolen from him because he didn't have that. But either way, he now does have it, so he'll be adapting his build moving forward. Milan and Chomi are going to start dueling in the river. This is not really a fight that Slark could be comfortable taking. He's going to leap out of there. Aloha Dance looking for a Fade Bolt, but the uphill is going to deny him the vision. It's going to be Zmai getting dropped back right into a Centaur Stomp. He has a Stomp of his own. He's going to use it, stunning both the Brew as well as the Centaur, but he's now running the wrong direction if he wants to escape, so he's just going to buy time. Hopefully getting Slark a pick off the courier, but I don't think the Centaur has anywhere to run. He's just slowly going to get poked down. There he goes. Second death in the Centaur.
In the meantime, Big Num was also bullying off the tree and almost got the kill as well. Was lacking about 2 seconds of Iron Shell time. Even made Crystal Maiden back off completely as well. And even though Centaur died here, both offlaners are already level 4. Of course, Starks are doing a little bit better. A couple of more last hits, a little bit more XP as well. But I wouldn't have expected just really either offlane to do as well. Just because my Insanity, they should have been able to constantly pull through and just have the Darkseer not get off to that good of a start. But 5 minutes in, 2-0 for Albumsheet. Definitely a way better start than in last game.
Oh, for sure. And they're going to look to make it even better as No Fear and Aloha Dance are going to be smoking up and looking like to go all the way down to the bottom lane. In fact, maybe they're going to run into a Crystal Maiden, or maybe they're just going to dive a Viper. They have a Hell Bear, and as far as creeps that do damage, that one is on the top. So not as much lockdown as they might like, but they'll find a Troll. That's a nice one to pick up. Or they're just going to save the enchant for the slow. It's going to be Big Dumb taking the Frostbite, and Hatawa's now going to wish he had that still because he's going to need it. Lifts up into the air into a clap. That Crystal Maiden did not stand a chance.
That damage, the clap, like I said, highest damage on the creeps you can get from the jungle. Chomi in the mid lane, absolutely bullying Milan as well. Of course, Milan is going to hit level 6 soon enough. That's going to be of great use. Just go to the high ground, reaching up with that Shadow Dance, and then go back into the mid lane and try to fight. So far, he's gotten it for 2 points into Pounce, 2 points into Dark Pact. I actually have to admit that I usually, when I see Slark, I really haven't paid great attention to the skill build, but what is the just common skill build on Slark?
Most of the time you prioritize Pounce. That's when you have guaranteed setup, and with only the Crystal Maiden and Frostbite, I don't think that's by any means guaranteed. And against the melee hero, I think I would like to see the prioritized Dark Pact build, but either way, it's usually Pounce, then Dark Pact, and then Essence Shift. So it's going to be a little bit standard, but at the same time, well, I don't know if it's going to be correct. Blizzard's going to get dove real deep by the Brewmaster. Haste Rune, letting him feel comfortable to dive this with a split as well. That's going to be 1 kill. In the meantime, bottom lane, there's a bloodbath going on. That's 2 kills on the bottom lane for the Radiant. Man, I chose the wrong lane to watch.
Yeah, so did I. I really didn't expect that much timing going on with only an Enchantress Darkseer. And definitely backfired as well. All they got was a Crystal Maiden kill. By no means worth it. Now Viper, he's almost level 7, although he was part of a tri-lane. So he's going to have his Viper Strike. Actually, he already got to use it anyway. So, excellent turn for mYi on the bottom side here. Darkseer, he even has one more last hit than the Viper. So farm-wise, Albumsheet, they're looking just great across all 3 of the lanes.
That's really not supposed to happen. Even though you can cut the wave, up against a Viper, you shouldn't be able to cut the wave. And Viper with 3 Nether Toxin now is going to be hard-pressed to miss last hits unless he just really doesn't know how to play the hero. They're going to stampede for top lane. There's a Stomp landing on the Razor. Crystal Maiden and Tree going to close the distance as well. And Inquisitor is going to put a little bit of damage back onto Hatawa. But that's pretty much it. It's a nice kill on the Razor and going to give Myi a little bit of breathing room up there. Level 6 is that point in time where you can just turn around and go aggressive. Chomi's going to start fighting with Milan over towards mid. This is not a fight that Slark can really win. That clap does so much damage, and Dark Pact, it does quite a bit of damage to Slark himself. So he's going to rely very heavily on Shadow Dance to keep him up, and it will be good for a little bit, but if he has a rotation on him, he's going to certainly be in for a lot of hurt. But speaking of hurt, top lane, they're setting up. They do not have Overgrowth on Treant. In fact, he's only level 3. He's going to open up with the Leech Seed onto Aloha Dance. Instantly, the net is there, and the Fade Bolt as well onto Lizard. Centaur Stomp is going to land onto both the Tree and the Centaur. Lizard's still being focused down by all these creeps. Hoof Stomp is going to stun literally everything, though, but it's not going to be enough to save anyone. Here comes the Slark, and a pounce on the Enchantress. Going to get a kill. Can he go for another? Milan does have Shadow Dance and another Dark Pact. He will Dark Pact to get a little bit closer, then Shadow Dance, and he will kill off the Rubik and the Centaur or Troll trying to body block. Big Gnome does not have any points in Vacuum. There is a net onto Milan, but it's not really going to last for very long. In fact, it's going to be his escape, but Radiant's career does go down. Don't really know where that went. In the meantime, it was over towards top. How the hell did it die over there? I don't know, but in the meantime, Hatawa is being chased down by a Razor, linked up and brought down. That's going to be another kill for Albumsheet. Looks like mYi, they kind of want to fight this one out, but they don't know about the invisible Brewmaster with Split who's circling around, and for sure the Treant is not going to know about this. I think Chomi's going to open up with the Clap. There it is, and the Split, and now Lizard doesn't have anything to run to get invisible. No Fear is going to get pounced upon, but Milan doesn't have enough HP to survive this. He's going to lift up, and he will be brought down. Now Lizard, he's invisible, so he will be fine. Smi's going to try to stampede away. The Rock is going to follow him, though. Do they have enough damage to do it? Yes, the short vacuum they will. That's going to be more kills for Albumsheet. Does anyone else want to die? Hatawa might get a courier here if Crystal Maiden damage was like 50% higher. No, it's not going to happen. They're instead going to look for Lizard. Do they have any true sight on any of these heroes at all? It seems like they don't, but they definitely know that Lizard is here, but they also know that Crystal Maiden is there. Hatawa's got to play the sickest jukes. It's not going to be enough, I don't think. She's going to run right into everyone. That's going to be yet another kill for Albumsheet. That was just a huge, disastrous series of events for mYinsanity. I don't know the ultimate score swing in that, but I'm pretty sure Albumsheet came ahead by 3 or if not 4 kills.
I think it was a 5 for 3 by the really end of it. Not too 100% sure, but it used to be 2 and 5 before. A little bit of stream sniping going on. Just getting the delay to work in our favor here. So excellent fight for Albumsheet, getting a tower on top of that. But one thing that happened just before the fight was Brewmaster picking up the Midas, and after that fight, Darkseer going for the Midas. So looks like Albumsheet, they just favor that item, and I mean, Brewmaster Midas, I've seen it before a couple of times, and it might even work out just because he even got the kills afterwards. But man, Brew Midas, it's... I just think Blink Dagger, when you have an Enchantress anyway, who really doesn't want to usually take things to the late game, would have been so much more beneficial.
Yeah, I think 10 times out of 10, I would rather have a Brew with a Blink Dagger on my team than a Brew with a Midas. I mean, he's going to have the Blink Dagger very shortly because he did clean up so heavily up on top, but it's just such an inconsistent item on the hero. This time it's going to work out for him, but next time it probably won't, and next time it probably won't again, so... This game is going to be perfectly fine, however, so he's going to get some serious benefits off of this. Guaranteed farm means that you are guaranteed your Aghanim Scepter, your Assault Cuirass later on, maybe a Shiva's, so big items for the Brewmaster are going to be in the pipeline. And Darkseer as well. I mean, they don't really do that great with farm, but they do decently enough. This Chomi's going to go for Grazine, and that's going to be a clap. No split just yet, but a short vacuum is going to interrupt that TP. Grazine is completely screwed, although Stampede is going to buy him a little bit of space. There's a Haste Rune on the Brewmaster, so you cannot Stampede away from that. Chomi gets a free kill down on bot, and even with that Hand of Midas delay, he still is going to get like a 13-minute max Blink Dagger, so this is going to be about where you want to be as Brewmaster, plus a Hand of Midas.
That Hand of Midas, it's definitely going to pay off in this particular game. Milan, the Ensnare comes out, he has the Pounce still, he's waiting for it, the second Ensnare. A little bit too late, Pounce got stolen from Rubik as well. Rubik probably, if he could, he would definitely want to steal the Shadow Dance. A crazy ability to have on Rubik, to be honest. But Albumsheet, get another tower. They're just constantly pressuring pretty much every part of the map. Viper, does he have his mech yet? I don't think so. Yeah, he doesn't. Still needs the full recipe for it. Blink Dagger up on Chomi's Brewmaster. Albumsheet, they are exactly where their lineup should be at the moment, I think.
I think they're exactly where they want to be, and then some. I mean, they are packing Blink Daggers and double Hands of Midas by 12 minutes with items already completed afterwards, and that's pretty damn good. And Razor's really going to feel the shortest end of this stick, but he's farming very well as well. I mean, he's on top of the last hit chart, doesn't have a Hand of Midas, doesn't need one either. He's going to go Drums Aghanims for him, so it's going to be a lot of pushing power for Albumsheet as they are going to try to dive to tier 1. No Fear is going to get bounced upon. He will be brought down in a hurry, but Hatawa is also going to be the trade as the Inquisitor dives deep for Grazine. He will be able to steal a lot of damage from this Viper, who's going to do nothing but turn tail and run. That will be the death of the Viper. Aloha Dance being chased down by Milan is going to find himself in a corner, and he will be brought down. Can Albumsheet find anyone else? Lizard's going to turn himself invis. Don't think they have any sentries there, but it's going to be Chomi to chase down the Slark, who also will be able to escape. It's going to be a 2 for 2. However, Mind Sanity lose a core and a support as opposed to just Albumsheet losing 2 supports, and Albumsheet get a tower. So yet again, it's another big win for Albumsheet, and they didn't even use split.
They can just go for another fight if they really want to. Maybe even get Roshan if they get a few nice creeps for no fear there. They wouldn't have the most damage just because they don't have any sources of minus armor. But they could go for it if they really wanted to. Milan is going to run into no fear, or maybe the other way around. Just is he going to go for it? Pounce? Maybe. Never mind, no fear. Activates the Nature's Attendants. But there's a Blink Dagger finally coming out on Smite on the Centaur. Maybe it's going to be enough to get some counter kills. I mean, Rubik as well as Enchantress, still extremely squishy heroes.
Yeah, Blink in into Slark jumping in as well is a pretty decent way of getting kills, assuming Slark will be able to land that Pounce, which is at this point more or less insured. He's been pretty accurate with those, and when you have stun to set up, it should be easy pickings. Slark should be going for a Blink Dagger as well. He's holding on to quite a bit of gold, and if he was going for anything else, he probably would have picked it up already. So this is Mind Sanity's time to be a little bit more on the aggressive, as Albumsheet have been pretty much calling all the shots this entire game. It's going to be a nice breath of fresh air for things to go the other way, but that might not even be the case, as Inquisitor is potentially setting up for Grazine. They're going to surge and then do nothing with it. The Brewmaster has a split, and so Albumsheet should be looking for a fight or a push or something right now. Otherwise, they are certainly going to fall behind as far as their hero strength, but they do have the Midases, so their effectiveness is going to be extended up to like 40 minutes plus.
Oh wow, so Albumsheet, Chomi, he's going to find Milan, the Pounce, it's not going to get him anywhere. Thunderclap connects. Yeah, he has to just pop his Shadow Dance to escape. Chomi, if he really wants to, he can keep on chasing with the Blink and Haste. Haste's gonna wear off soon enough. They get vision of Milan, Stampede as well defensively. Oh god, they're gonna catch the Viper and he's gonna be left to die.
The guaranteed Viper Strike stolen. Whenever you steal a skill from Viper as Rubik, you are going to be getting that skill, and it's a pretty good one. And he got vacuumed back straight into a telekinesis, so Nice little combo plays from Albumsheet, going to get themselves yet another free kill, plus pull out the Centaur Stampede, which is pretty much the biggest tool that mYi have to deal with in order to counter the Brewmaster. Like, once he blinks in, clap splits, you want to Stampede and just charge away. But that's not going to be available for just a little bit, and that's going to be punishing Hatawa and Lizard over in the mid lane as they do split. There's the Overgrowth, which is going to catch all these Brewlings, buy a little bit more space for Hatawa, but it's going to be the Treant to drop and ultimately go down, I think. Yes, the immolation damage will kill him off as Chomi finds that kill. I mean, it's a valiant effort, I suppose, from the Treant, but he does end up giving his life for the Crystal Maiden. Overall, it's pretty much the same result in the end. mYi just getting picked apart right now. Albumsheet are finding everything, and they have minuses taking away, so there is a little bit of silver lining as Slark does find a kill on the Rubik using his Blink Dagger, but most certainly it's not going to be enough.
Oh, it's most certainly not. And they even almost got center. The Storm Panda was trying to chase anybody down, and just as he was in the middle really of the animation for that Cyclone, the Storm or the Primal Split ended. But look at Brewmaster, even has Boots of Travels now. The smoke though, they're gonna run into No Fear. Should be an easy kill onto the Enchantress. Just one stun, that's all they need. Double Edge, he's still alive, but not for long. Crystal Maiden gets the kill for himself. So 2 supports from Albumsheet do die in quick succession. But getting the support kills is just not going to impact the game at all, almost.
Yeah. Albumsheet, what they should be waiting for is this Aghanim Scepter for Razor, and then until then they're okay with dropping supports here and there. But once the Razor gets that item, then they're going to be ready to push, as I don't think they're going to have any huge leads of power. I mean, Chomi may be going for an Aghanim Scepter after this, but again, going for more intermediate items, playing a rather greedy Brewmaster build. Now it's on the mid lane where Aloha Dance is going to be charged upon by the Centaur. He's going to lift up into the air, deny the Stampede. Now Stampede forward from Albumsheet. Huge vacuum onto 4, plus a wall into everyone with the clap from Chomi as well. This is going to be a bloodbath. Milan does Shadow Dance and escape, but everyone else is going to get cleaned up. That vacuum, man. That vacuum was backbreaking, and they're going to charge forward looking for someone else. It's going to be Lizard. Is there any gem? I think they don't know. They don't have a gem, so they don't see him. They're going to dust for it, and it will miss, so he will be able to survive, but still. Vacuum into wall combination. It's been a while, but it still does a lot of damage, guys.
Wow, and that's a Darkseid without the Blink Dagger as well, getting such a huge vacuum wall combination. Absolutely just gut-wrenching for mYi there. They are just going from bad to worse, really. They're not getting any kind of momentum. They have the Blink Dagger on center yet, unable to do anything. Pretty much every single Stampede they've used in this game has been purely defensive. Now, there's an Aghanim Scepter on Razor. There's going to be a Blink Dagger on Rubik as well, unless he wants to go for 4 staff instead. But at least Mech is finished on Viper finally, but it's 17.5 minutes in already. That's just not fast enough.
Milan's going to jump forward and find Bignum and Aloha Dance. He's going to lift up into the air and burst it down before he can do anything. Shadow Dance being used as well, but Vacuum is going to do enough damage to get the kill. And that's something that you should feel comfortable doing as Slark. Like jumping into maybe sticky situations, but escaping. But Albumsheet, they just perfectly timed their disables around that pact, and they bursted him down. That's not easy to do with the heroes that they have.
It's definitely not. So, God, this Slark just not getting enough. And Radiant Courier dies again. Primal Split used. He wants to go for Hatawa. Might even get the kill onto Crystal Maiden. Living Armor keeps him alive for a little while longer. He's trying to choke things out. Nice invis coming out from the Nature Skies of Treant. So they save the Crystal Maiden for now. Or at least he should be fine. But Radiant Courier damage. So much gold again for Albumsheet.
Yeah, and it's just so easy for Brewmaster as well. Blink in, 1 hit with the guaranteed crit, and you're going to be getting that courier down. So Split being used, quite an expensive usage of Split to get just a courier, but I think it is still going to be worth it, assuming Albumsheet don't start a fight that they are not capable of winning right now, and they're going to do it as Hatawa is going to be revealed to everyone. He's going to get dusted up immediately as Milan does jump in straight for Aloha Dance. He gets mexed up. He will be healed up a little bit more. That was the wall into Vacuum. Will not save the Rubik, but now it's going to be Hatawa doing a lot of damage to everyone else with the Overgrowth combos. Hatawa is going to get almost a fully channeled off, and Chomi can't really do anything here because he doesn't have the Split, already used it. That's going to be the best fight that mYi have had in quite a long time, but they might lose Grazine straight after. He's very tanky, this Viper, but I don't think Albumsheet are going to give up on this. Milan's going to jump forward for No Fear, put a lot of damage to this Enchantress, but I don't think he's going to have enough to kill her off. That's going to be a 3 for 3 in the end. Albumsheet, they are on the receiving end of a Dota Cinema combo, but still they win the fight, or at least come out even.
That fight though, I think mYi, they're probably fine with just trading this. They got the 2 cores after all, which is the most important part. And looking at the fight recap as well, it was a 3 for 3. Yet mYi, they come about 2k gold ahead, plus about, well, a little bit less than 2k in XP as well. So trading for them, if you're behind, is fine. Although, like you said, they just got the sickest combination. The Crystal Maiden ultimate, it did so much. It's still only a little one, of course, but you could see the heroes dropping a beautiful center hoof stomp, I think landing on 2 with the double H to follow. But, whoa, Chrisine, 20-minute Hand of Midas, man.
I don't get it. I just don't understand it. Like, it's a good item if you get it early, but he's going to bank on the late game to play itself out for my Insanity, and I don't know if they can depend on that given the way Albumsheet are playing. You need to be able to fight right now. I think Aghanim Scepter is just so much better at this stage and pretty much in any game for a Viper.
Is Slark also going for a Midas now, do you think?
I mean, you're going for one, you might as well go all in on it. Otherwise, it's just like, why would you even get one at all? They're going to try to crash Roshan. One Slark Illusion is going to be stolen by the Enchantress. The other one is going to give Inquisitor a huge leap in power. Or not that huge. That was actually pretty smart of Slark to get rid of it. But anyway, Hatawa is going to look to charge in. They do have a Stampede and Blinks. Chomi does have a split, and he will jump in for a 2-man clap and a split. They're going to Stampede forward. Nice hoof stomp onto 3 with Milan jumping in as well. It's going to death the Rubik immediately as my Insanity. They're going to clean up a little bit more. Actually, Zmai is going to get cleaned up first. Is there anyone else who's going to be in any more danger? No Fears on the back end. He's going to be jumped upon once again by the Slark, constantly re-engaging. The Brewmaster split can't really get that much done. He's going to send the Viper into the air and will kill off the Tree and Protector. 2 for 2 with the Enchantress buying back. Grazine now is in a little bit of trouble. He's going to circle around the Tree and Delusion and will be able to close the distance. TP out attempts on the Viper, but this damage is way too high. There's no chance of him being able to do that. Milan still is in the area. Might want to look for a Roshan steal. But that's a fight that Albumsheet are still willing to take since Razor has so much plus damage. This Roshan is going to be claimed, and Milan is not going to be able to jump in. He jumps in anyway and then jumps straight out. He's going to get vacuum back, canceled his TP, but I think he should be fine. It's hard to chase down a Slark with living armor and all that healing. They're going to try for it nonetheless, and, well, I don't think they're going to connect on anything, but that's fine because they get Roshan, they get Aegis, claimed by the Razor, I think. Yes, it was. And my Insanity, they drop yet another fight.
The start, of course, was pretty nice for my Insanity. The center, beautiful hoof stomp. Really, without that, they would have gotten crashed so damn hard. Vacuum Wall, decent from Darkseer as well. But, oh, what? They get the kill onto Aloha Dance with Blizzard. Even use the Overgrowth for it. Plus the Freezing Field. So they get the support kill, but every time they're only getting supports almost. But still, that fight, they needed the Freezing Field to be there after the hoof stomp. Just maybe even from the high ground if he could find himself somehow on that. But not to be. Now there's going to be an Aghanim Scepter on the Brewmaster with a level 3 ultimate, double Thunderclap. And overall, my Insanity, they kind of just lacked the team fight to deal with Albumsheet. They almost got the Enchantress down, but as the mech came out, there was really no damage anymore all of a sudden. The Slark, he's just a non-factor.
I mean, he's playing it correctly given the items that he has. He has a Blink Dagger, so you want to jump in, get a combo off on someone, and then blink away, and then wait for your regen, and then just go again. He's going to try to go for Chomi, not going to happen. And he's been doing that, doing quite a bit of damage to the supports. But even if Albumsheet lose their 2 supports, it's not really a huge deal. I mean, their Brewmaster and their Razor are the ones doing all the damage, even the Darkseer to a lesser extent. The Enchantress and Rubik are just there kind of to just provide a little bit of utility. That's utility that they could very easily do without. So the Slark is doing his job, but the job that he needs to be doing isn't really correct in this game. Hatawa is going to be jumped, slowed down, vacuumed back, and he will be brought down as well. Rubik's going to take that one as Inquisitor is going to continue pushing the bottom lane. This is going to be a tier 2 tower at the very least for Albumsheet. They will have Eye of the Storm up in another 50, though I don't really know if they're going to go for more pushing. They just feel so powerful right now with the Brewmaster with his fresh Aghanims.
As well they should, and looks like Chomi's Hand of Midas, it has paid off for him for sure at the moment. Just getting so many levels, so much gold income as well. Grizin trying to split push the best he can with his own Hand of Midas. Slark just going for the Eye of Sky or something like that, but oh, double blink in, Thunderclap catches Grizin in as well. Picking up, he's holding on to his vacuum just to make sure Grizin can't TP out. Smart choice as well. Giant chills the right clicks, they're going to bring down the Viper. Picking up actually drops pretty low, but they get the kill in the end. BKB going to be finished at the same time on an Inquisitor. I don't see the opening for my Insanity really, just where can they come back?
Well, Milan is going to try with a snipe onto Bignum. That's not going to happen. He's going to TP out and be just fine. Nothing to interrupt that, but that was an awfully bold attempt from the Slark in order to try to get that pick. What my Insanity have to do, I think, is just maybe just turtle up. I mean, even though Albumsheet do have a couple of Midases going, these are Midases on heroes that don't really scale that well with items. So conceivably, if the Slark gets 3 or 4 more items over the course of the game, he will be fine to just lay the smackdown late. But right now, Albumsheet have all the initiatives, so as far as mYi and Sandy getting that space, it's going to be so difficult for them.
Yeah, that is really the biggest issue for them. I mean, Slark getting that kind of free farm. If he had his own Hand of Midas running, maybe with another like 5-10 minutes, he would have those extra 2 items to be ready for the fights. Maybe Eye of Skadi plus something. But by that time, probably Brewmaster gonna have his own, and Assault Kuras, if not Razor, is the one to build it. Maybe get something like an Abyssal Blade on the Brewmaster even. It's a pretty strong item, to be honest. Just lots of damage, Drunken Brawler, getting those guaranteed crits to start the fight. Lizard, unfortunately, no fear, doesn't have any detection. They still don't have a gem, I think. Oh, never mind, they do. Chomi has it, so.
But
Oh god.
having a gem on your team doesn't actually do anything unless the hero is with the rest of the team. And Chomi's going to blink forward. He's going to try to go for Grazine and Tawa. He's going to get the split off through that Frostbite and then do nothing. He actually still has a gem, so he's going to put more damage onto Grazine, but the Overgrowth is there. And now the Brewmaster truly can't do anything, but he's buying space for the rest of his team because they're bringing down towers. mYi's going to jump forward, trying for Hoop Stomp, but he gets lifted up immediately and then vacuums back into a wall. Not much is going to result in this, as Milan's going to try to go for a little bit more. He's going to take a lot of damage. He will go down, in fact. Slark does have a buyback, and I think he'll have to use it. Inquisitor does not have his ultimate up, but still the racks are taking quite a bit of damage. Where's the Brewmaster in all this? He is boots of traveling in. A little bit late to the party, but I don't know if it's really going to be relevant because the ranged Raxes are dropping regardless. Another 15 seconds. They might want to back off. Wait for just a little bit longer, maybe earn people up, use the Nature's Intendants, and then go back in again. Or Chomi's just going to go back in by himself. That's good, too. He's going to lay the Drunken Haze onto Grazine. Now try to go for a Tawa. Big crits plus the Ion Shell. Not going to have to kill off the Maiden. She does get mech'd up. Now is mYi going to get a Swift Stomp finally. Blink out from the Rubik as he tries to keep himself safe with the Viper Strike stolen. But that's range Raxes down. Now Inquisitor with his ultimate up once again is going to be going to town on this melee Raxes with Grazine constantly being Drunken Hazed up. He can't do anything about that. He's missing pretty much every single one of his attacks. Albumsheet, they get in, they crush the Raxes, and they get out pretty much perfectly, although No Fear wants to fight this one. Inquisitor wants to fight this one as well, as Lowland Dance does get the lift up onto the Centaur, pulling him right back into a stomp onto Bignum. It's not going to be enough damage to kill off the Centaur, but will be very close. Chomi's going to get Overgrowth, but he's not taking any damage with all his evasion. Grazine needs an MKB at this stage, but it's simply too far away. Now Albumsheet, I think, should disengage, and they will do so. They got what they came for. They took a nice team fight on top of that. Just wait for this split to be up, and then go for the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's gonna be even easier now since Bignum has a pipe finish, so the little damage that my Insanity actually had to output, it's gonna get mitigated even further now. Holy crap, they just can't go for it at all. Chomi, he even almost managed to actually bring down Grazine as well. Grazine got the TP out back to base with about 50 HP remaining. So that was what Brewmaster was doing the entire time there. So we're 28 minutes in, 1 Rax down for my Insanity. About a 16,000 net worth lead for Albumsheet, 14,000 in XP as well. My Insanity, they're gonna have to turtle for dear life, and there's small chance that it will even work out. At least Treant Protector has a gem of his own, so they can try to gain some resemblance of map control. But it's just going to be so hard because they can't really leave their base and feel safe.
The only chance if they get a pick off to delay the push, that could be really nice, but going for Chomi without too many hard stuns is going to be a little bit difficult. Really, they only have the Centaur stun that could cancel the Brewmaster from splitting, so that's just not going to cut it at this point. They have no chance of bursting him down, so the split is all but guaranteed. Chomi is going to put himself on the front lines, and he's going to take a lot of poison damage. Think about the split. He's going to Hoop Stomp now. The damage is going to be very high, but it's not going to be enough. I don't think he will split out and be just fine, as Centaur does go down. Now in the middle of the fight, Inquisitor with BKB is doing so much damage to everyone. Milan's going to jump off to the side, and he will be fine. Hatawa, in the meantime, laying down a Freezing Field. No Fear tanking that one up for some reason. It's doing quite a bit of damage, this Freezing Field, but it's not actually killing anyone. In fact, it won't even kill No Fear. Now Lizard with the True Sight and the Gem. He's going to be dropped as well. Where is the Slark? He's all the way on the bottom lane trying to cut the wave. That's a 4-0, and that's GG called.
It's smartly so as well. They just couldn't do anything with the kind of lineup that they had. It's not like they had those crazy comeback heroes like Medusa maybe. Even a Gyrocopter with a Rapier might have been enough. Just any heroes of that along those lines, but not to be. So once again, man, joined at the league season 4. We have a 1-1 result. I think I haven't seen a 2-0 so far in just this European Division 1.
Yeah, I haven't either. Hopefully it's going to come eventually, but so far we just have ties upon ties. Albumsheet take it after a pretty focused lineup draft. Darkseer working out very well for them, and yeah, as my co-caster said, that is going to be a 1-for-1. We're done on this channel, guys, but I think there's going to be another best of 3 on our ESFX channel. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I'm actually going to go live with it now, so It's gonna come up in about 15 minutes time unless the teams are late or something. But Virtus Pro Polar versus Hellraisers in a best of 3 should be awesome.
All right, guys. So we're going to keep the stream alive for just a little bit longer, but head on over to the EFX stream, assuming it doesn't die. It should be a good game. I'm Mike Loris. I've been joined by Coucher. If you enjoyed the cast, be sure to hit that follow button. Also follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook. All those good things. And we'll get notifications when we go online. The VODs will be up on youtube.com/HeflaMoke later on in the day. And that should be about it for us. Thanks for watching, guys. GG.